This is the book of Job, chapter 20 and verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Job chapter 20 and verse 4 and 5. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, so Brother Aharon coming back at you with another lesson. Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. All right, and just want to go into this article real quick. All right, and it's all leading to the hour of temptation. Okay, and before I go into the article, I want to read the hour of temptation and why it's said that this time will come to pass. Okay, the hour of temptation. What makes it a time of temptation? All right, and who is going to be delivered during these times? Okay, there's a book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 10, and this is a red letter. So Yahweh Shai is speaking. He said, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth." Okay, so the Lord is telling us, all right, in the future, which is the very near future, okay, that there's gonna come a time upon the face of the earth where everyone is going to face a form of temptation. All right, it's a universal temptation, which is you give up your rights and your sovereignty for a little bit of benefits, controlled benefits, at the expense of your life, basically. As a result, by doing this, if you're in the land of Babylon, America the Great, you will be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. So it's either you do it or you don't. What's that Shakespearean literature, I believe is was it Hamlet, if I'm not mistaken? All right, there's a soliloquy in there, and I believe it goes, it's themed to be or not to be. That's the question. All right, to be or not to be, that's the question. So everyone is going to come to that point where it's you do it or you don't do it. That's the question. And the Lord has already said that he's going to pave the way for his elect. Okay, going through the times where everything is being taken away from you. All right, everything is being taken away from everybody else who's around you. And the only way of you getting any of that back, all right, keyword, any of that, keywords, any of that back, right, or gaining access to anything that was taken, all right, you have to bow the knee. You have to receive something. You have to give them that permission, all right, to be gods over you. Okay, that is the hour of temptation. Okay, you're going to be faced with that decision that you got to make, and everyone is going to face that decision. Ultimately, the elect are the ones that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua will make a way for us to walk through. Okay, and the article says banks are closing customer accounts with little explanation. Okay, Nafair DeLone had just left the holiday light show at Saks Fifth Avenue in New York when he heard that all of his bank accounts had mysteriously gone dark. After the show, DeLone, his girlfriend, and some friends escaped the cold and had dinner at a French bistro. But when it came time to pay the check, his credit card had declined. His debit card was rejected next. It had to be some sort of mistake, he figured, because he had plenty of money in his account. Okay, so just like that, the Lord is using people like him as an example of what's going to actually be happening to a lot of people. And those who have their faith in this system, you're gonna be in the worst case scenario, because the system that you have faith in has collapsed. Okay, you had your faith in nowhere else. It's kind of like, the term that says putting all your eggs in one basket, right? So you try so hard to stack all these eggs in one basket, and then the basket, falls out of your hand, or is stolen from you, or something happens to that basket. That means you've lost all your eggs. It could happen two ways. It could either all break, or somebody just steals the whole shit from you. Either way, you put all your eggs in one basket, you ain't got no more eggs. Right? So you got to think about that in this case as your faith being the eggs. If you want to put your faith, or you want to believe on anything, or you want to put your treasures, all right, in any basket, let it be a basket of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That you know is going to be secured. Right? If you want to put anything in the bank, let it be a spiritual bank account that will benefit you when the time comes for you to actually exercise some type of spirituality. Right? That's a foreign concept to the people of this world, but they are the ones who are going to suffer the most because they don't have that ability. They don't have that wisdom and knowledge and understanding to navigate in the times that we're coming in. All right? Those who are carnal minded, they're going to be taken quickly, just like we saw 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Okay, they're gonna fall for all the lies and all the tricks, all right, and then they're gonna fall by the wayside, whether it be by famine, all right, whether it be by cannibalism or cannibalistic acts, whether it be by the sword, whether it be by pestilence, whatever it is, they're gonna be taken out, and ultimately they're gonna wait here for the Lord to come back, and He's gonna destroy them with thermonuclear fire. Period. Okay, so that's what's coming. And a lot of these people, hey, you take the so-called Christians for example. You know, they're the most churchgoers, but they have the least faith. It's kind of ironic. It's like, why do you even go to church? What's the point of even going to church? To just fellowship? To just hear some dumbass shit and then go carry on with your life again and come back to the same thing over and over and over and over again? And not even open up the scriptures to read what's in it for once in your life? You know? Except for when it comes to trying to debate or debunk the truth, then you have all the power and all. We're going into this book. You so-called Christians do not study. They don't study, because if they did, they wouldn't be coming against us. The things we bring out is not things we make up. We don't make this stuff up. All right, it's just the truth that's being uncovered. That's it. Okay, that's all it is. And if you want to uncover the same truth, you just got to go do the same thing we do. Dig, look up the words, go into the different language. If you're reading the scriptures in English, all right, you're reading the New Testament, and you're reading in English, obviously the New Testament was written in Greek. So if any common sense person would say, oh, okay, well, if I want to understand what I'm reading, I have to go back and understand the original text. Okay, it was written in Greek. Let's go into that. Oh, okay, you're reading the Old Testament. You're going to get a lot of concordance that's going to say H, meaning Hebrew this, Hebrew concordance this. All right, I got to learn some Hebrew. I got to learn some Greek. I got to understand what these words mean in order for me to understand the scriptures. They don't think like that. They don't know what the scriptures even talk about. What's the narrative of the scriptures? What's the theme of the Bible? They have no clue. There's only one theme of the Bible. They have no clue what it is. Who are the Israelites? Who's the Lord going to save? What are the tribes? What are the nations? You know, what's the point of all of this that we're going through here? The curses, the blessings, the wars, the prophecies, the promises, right? The history. They have no clue. That's why this truth is so special, because we've discovered something that the wicked has hid from the world, the ultimate treasures, man. You know, the truth of who God's people are. All right, it's finally coming out, man, and they're afraid. Okay, they're afraid, but ultimately, I say all this to say that ultimately all this stuff ends in one way and one way only: the destruction of Babylon the Great. Okay, America, Babylon the Great, is about to be destroyed. You're seeing her in her closing stages. All right, you have something known as, in a story, you got the beginning, right? You have the rising action. Okay, you got the climax, which is at the top, right? Then you got the fall. See, and then you get to the end. See, so right now we're at that bridge. See that small little cusp between the fall and the end. That's where we at right now in prophecy. Okay, so the MOTB being officially mandated throughout the whole entire planet, that's part of the end, because it's through that we get the destruction of this place to completely finish it. You see, and that's where the Lord comes back and He does his miraculous deliverance. All right, that the hopeful elect are waiting for. Okay, so hey, the elect are deemed for salvation. We, Lord willing, we are those people. All right, we're not gonna fall. All right, during the time of temptation. Okay, and some of these things that we're reading is building to that. Okay, so let's go back to the article. It says, but when he returned home that mid-December, that mid-December evening and called his bank, Chase, of course, right? A customer representative delivered the unexpected news. The bank had dumped him as a customer. The rep said he should have received a letter in the mail, but couldn't say much more than that was in the notice. Than what was in the notice. It says, quote, unexpected activity, end quote, had led to the closing of his accounts. Quote, I received no kind of warning or red flag, said Dylan, 28, who had started banking with Chase after visiting its marketing booth at New York University, which he attended after arriving in 2013 from Pakistan. Quote, I was just out of the it was just out of the blue. See? So he came in and drank off the Babylon juice, right? He put all his trust in the banking system and he believes it works, you know? You got a lot of people who don't think America is going to go down because they believe so wholeheartedly in how things work over here. Everything is ass backwards, but to them it's like it's the perfect thing. That's all they've known. You see? So this guy who came from Pakistan all the way in the east comes over here and starts going into what the philosophies of this place. He wants to be like an American. You know, he's chilling. He got his bank. You know, he's fancy. You know, he got the bread in the account. You know, he can go out and he can swipe, and now ain't shit happening. You know, damn, what happened? Called his bank because he had a lot of money in his account, right? He had a lot of money in his account. Well, guess what? The Lord said, okay, that your money ain't gonna save you when the time comes. This is a book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 4. It says, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. Okay, so for everyone who thinks, oh yeah, I'm rich, bro. I'm investing in Bitcoin. I'm investing in this, investing in that. Like, what are you trying to accomplish here? You think this place is gonna go on forever? Like, even if it does, guess what? Even if it does, right? Most High forbid, we all know the truth. But even if it did, right? Let's just put it in some crazy, never will ever happen world. Even if this place was to go on forever, there's a change coming. And the change is not going to benefit you who have money. When they said you own nothing and you be happy, they mean that. You understand? They mean that. So you ain't going to have no, oh, I got this in my savings. Your savings are all going to be gone. They'll take everything away from you with the excuse of you're a cyber attack or some bullshit to explain the fucking thing. Right? But if you got money in the bank right now, it's like, come on, bro. Go get your money out. You know what's coming. Go get all your bread out. However you're going to do it. Right? And start preparing yourself mentally and spiritually to go through the time of having nothing. Go from one day where you thought you had enough, that, in case something happens, at least we're going to be good. So now something has happened that has taken everything away from you. So now you're just at ground zero like everybody else. All these celebrities going to go through that. You're going to see just how much of a celebrity these people really are, man. Yeah, they're powerless. And these elites will show them that. They'll take all their shit and put them right there just like everybody else. You know, most of them probably going to be thrown in jail. You know, they'll lose all their assets, whatever. Something's going to happen. You know, then you're going to see the true colors of this devil. Okay? So get ready. You know, all these Jay-Z's and the LeBrons, and he's officially a billionaire. Nigga, your billions are going to turn to nothing. Okay? You're going to be just like the regular person. Right? So, get ready for that. It says, continue with the article. It says, since he wasn't given a specific reason for the closure, he couldn't disprove whatever raised suspicion in the first place. Quote, it was almost like getting a scarlet letter, he added. A rise in suspicious activity reports, it says, with fraudulent activity on the rise and exploding during the pandemic, some banks are taking an even harder look at their customers' transactions and closing their accounts when they feel that it's necessary. Wow. See? So you don't even really own your own money, so-called. Right? It says, because financial institutions have a front row seat for watching the country's cash flow, financial institutions are obligated to alert regulators and law enforcement through a suspicious activity report, which is a SAR, if there's irregular behavior that they cannot easily explain. So If you have a pattern, like let's just say you work and then all of a sudden you get paid like let's say $30,000 in your account, boom, just like that. That's a red flag for somebody who's always getting. Maybe you work a job and then you get maybe $500 a week or $1,000 a week or $800, whatever. All of a sudden they see this huge amount of money, boom, in your account. They're gonna look. They're gonna zoom in. Who's this guy? Where did this come from? Okay, what did he do to get this money? Okay, and then you're gonna get a mail or a call or an email, whatever. Yeah, we noticed some suspicious activity in your account. It went from $100 to now $30,000. Could you please give an explanation as to why, blah, 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 in order for us to give you this money? You see, some shit like that. Frustrating shit. You worked, you got the money or whatever, however you got the money. It might be a righteous way that you did it, right? And then you work your ass off, you make the deal, you make your money, right? You sold a car, you sold a house, whatever. Just an example. See? And then these devils come in and they start peeking at your shit, asking questions, prowling. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, yo. And now you got to send them information, prove the documents, prove who you are. This is your bank account. You've had this account for this. You did this on this day. You worked here. You closed this deal. And that's how the money came into your account. And then now they're going to say, well, you got to pay your fees, right? For this amount of money in your account, you got to pay a certain amount of fees for that, And then now you got to allocate. Okay, this is going to go here. This is going to go over there. This is going to be for groceries. So they'll break it down for you. So once everything is set, for this week, you just had $30,000 in your account. This is just an example. $30,000 in your account. But after they do all the banking transactions and everything is set, okay, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. You pay this, you pay that. This department here, these fees here, this and that. Guess what? You ended up with like, let's say maybe $1,000, everything set for the week. Well, Esau gonna come in and say, well, the other, $29,000, we're gonna invest it someplace else for the greater good. There's people starving in Africa, so we're gonna take that money you just made and we're gonna send it over there because again, equity. You see what I'm saying? UBI. Think about all that shit. Universal basic income. That's like we take the money and then we redistribute it so everybody has a piece. You see? So all this fussing and I'm rich and I got this and I'm doing Bitcoin and I'm investing in this and taking advantage of the AI and they're gonna take all that shit, bruh. There ain't gonna be no happiness left. And people are gonna be pissed. All right. So it says not all reports lead to account closures and not all closures lead to reports. But if banks fail to report suspicious activity and regulators discover problematic transactions later, banks and their compliance employees are potentially on the hook for all manner of penalties. That's how they get them, right? So very soon, the banks could put these other jobs and companies that work with the banks, right, and some form of penalty because everything runs through the bank, right? If you want to open any account, you have to have a bank. Anything that has to do with business, finance, anything at all with transactions or buying and selling, the market, everything has to go through the banks because it's through what? Money. So Esau is taking over, monopolizing the banking sector. That way you have to go through these devils. And that's when they come up with the rules. We're in the stage of he causing all. Everyone is going through this shift, this change. Once they set it and it's established and people are pissed off, then they're going to say, here you go, bam. You take it or leave it. We'll give you some time. If you don't take it, here's what we're going to do to you. And if you leave it, well, that's what we're going to do to you too. Right? So that's, again, this is all going to happen very soon. Very, very soon, man. They're building all this. Once they're ready, you'll see. They'll pull the trigger. Right? So it says, so all their incentives and are toward closing accounts. According to an explanation of SARS on the website of the Bank Policy Institute, a research and advocacy organization that represents mid and large size banks, right? Damn, that's heavy. Because it's all. Everyone. And it'll be very easy to get everyone to have to comply through the jobs, through the banks. Everyone has a bank account some way, somehow. You got to make some type of transaction. All they got to say is, listen, all right, moving forward, this is the policy. All banks have to follow it. And if you do business with this so bank, this is what you got to do. Put that MOTB out. Let's go. That's it. Right? That's it. It says financial institutions filed $1.4 million of these SARS in 2021, according to a bureau of the Treasury Department. That was nearly 70% higher than the 839,314 filed in 2014. So that's a whole 7 year difference. Wow. It says, beside the overall rise in fraudulent activity, several factors could be behind the increase in filings. More alerts from government officials tipping off banks to specific activities, increasingly sophisticated technologies to detect them, and more regulatory scrutiny. That's all part of the beast system. All seeing, all right, the panopticon. It says, yet most of the time, the customers are probably innocent. A 2018 study from the Bank Policy Institute found that a median of just 4% of 640,000 SARS from a sample of large banks warranted a follow-up from law enforcement, according to research which examined 16 million alerts. It says, in the bank's version of its if you see something, say something, said Sharon Cohen-Levin, a former chief of the Money Laundering and Asset Forfeiture Unit in the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York. I'm not reading all that shit. It says, Dylan, who lives in Brooklyn, had a job interview the day after his cards were declined at the restaurant. Convinced that his debit card should work, after all, the Chase mobile app reflected his balance. He tried to use it again to pay for freshly printed copies of his resume. After his card was declined again, he called the bank from the printing shop. Chase only reiterated what it had told him the night before. So this is a very interesting way they could go to try to, switch or deter people from using the cards too, right? So they could shift quicker to the CHIP. Because now, once it comes out, you still got people who can say, oh, I can use my phone, or they could just do some shit in the system that doesn't allow card reading anymore. You could have the card, which has a CHIP in it, but for some reason, your card is deactivated all the damn time. But your money's there, right? Or your money can't not be there. Either way, the account shows a balance that's already put in place. But now for you to activate and use it, that's the problem. You got to have this new thing in you to use it, which identifies you as you. Radio frequency identification. It'll connect with the cloud. It'll connect with the banking sector, with the system. And then it'll say, okay, verified. This person is this person. Okay, good. You're good to go. Your biometrics, check. All right. Your biometrics entry checks off. You're good to go. You are the person you say you are. Now you can use the money that's in your account. See? So, hey, that could very well, be a play that they pull, right? It says the next morning he went to his Chase branch. He left with a cashier's check for his account balance, but without any satisfying answers. Later that evening, he finally unearthed the bank's Dear John letter. Financial institutions have an obligation to know our customers and monitor transactions, it said. You hear that? After careful consideration, we decided to close your accounts because of unexpected activity on this or another Chase account, according to the November 15 letter, which said the accounts would close December 14th. Still frustrated with such a vague explanation, Dylan called the number on the letter. After some prodding, the representative told him that the bank's global security and investigation team had ultimately made the decision. Golly. Would the representative transfer him to that department? Nope. I have sifted through my account activity for the past few months and have failed to see or detect any kind of unusual activity, Dylan said. This entire ordeal has been painful and difficult. Well, your money's gone. All right, something known as bail-ins, and this is how they explain it to you. It says, was it one of those far-fetched cases of mistaken identity? His family, which had paid for his tuition and living expenses, sent him money from Pakistan regularly via wire transfers. It says Western Union and recently a family friend in New York. Quote, this has been going on since the day I arrived in New York and no red flag has ever been raised by Chase, he said. Because there's a new thing they're coming up with. Okay, there's a new thing that all these banks are going to be doing very soon. All right, in order to push people away from the old traditional way of banking into this new form, all right, which is going to be the CBDC. Okay, everything's going to be digital, man. So using your card is going to be old very soon. All right, and that's paving the way for them to bring in that MOTB. Okay, but ultimately, all this stuff that they're doing is not going to work because it's all being done in a very mischievous manner. All right, they're not being straightforward with it. They're lying, they're deceiving, they're tricking. All right, all to get the people to bow the knee. Okay, and to go off and to rebel against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, this is the book of Job, chapter 20. All right, in verse 6, it says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. Which it says, they which have seen him shall say, where is he? Right, that's very similar to Obadiah and in the book of in Isaiah 14 as well. Okay, it says, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Right, so the thought of Esau, very soon, the thought of the wicked is going to be so far-fetched. Like, damn, there was a time where we actually lived like that. Man, nah, that had to be a dream. There's no way. Yeah. All right, that's how different this earth is going to be when we finally come into rulership. All right, the whole earth is going to be reconstructed. You know what I'm saying? The feeling is going to be different. Everything is going to change. To the point where if you think about America, you think of Babylon, you think of the current system in which we live in, it'll be hard to fathom how we survived it. How the hell did we go through all that shit? Like, damn, that was so damn, these devils, man. Lord, how did you even allow this? Like, they actually ruled for how long? Man, the earth, how did not the earth explode with all this bullshit? That's how it's going to feel. It's going to be surreal, So continuing, it says, verse, oh shit, it's a lot. Go back to Job. Yep. All right, Job 20. And verse 9, it says, the eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. All right, so Esau, that concept of having the so-called white man ruling, all right, everything in history is all about them and all this extra shit, the lies and how the world is now. Even they plan on taking over the future. They've came out and said it. The same people were talking about the wicked, all right, they've came out and shown themselves and said, the future is basically run by them, and anyone who's at the helm of the technology, all right, basically is going to be running the world. This is from the World Economic Forum we're talking about here. So just to give you a little glimpse of what the wicked look like and what their ideas are all about. It goes against the scriptures, man. That's all you need to know. Those are the Edomites. All right. So continuing, it says, verse 10, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. So since he was born, like the scriptures tell you that the wicked are estranged from the womb. All right. They be born, they be born speaking lies. All right. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. All right. They go out being wicked. Okay, the book of Psalm, all right, chapter 58 and verse 3 says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. They go astray from what? The truth. Everything that the Lord does or says in place, these devils do the contrary of that. All right, they go astray. When somebody goes astray, that means they're going out the way. Okay, let's look up the word astray real quick. It says to err, to wander, to stagger, okay, to sin, wandering, intoxication. See, the nations were drunken by the wine of her fornication, right? And ultimately the nations got mad, right? Meaning what? They're intoxicated. They've gone completely haywire. These are the nations that used to carry some type of morals. All right, now they just going, buck wild. All because of their dealings with this devil. Okay. It says what? To be made to wander about, be made to stagger, right? To be a drunkard, All right, so they go astray. All right, as soon as they be born, that means they just way off. That's just how the Lord built them. All right, what they be as soon as they be born, what, speaking lies. Okay, their whole mindset is, okay, what's the truth? Let's do the opposite, so we can lie to the people and deceive them and control them. See? So now that the truth is coming out, they get uncomfortable. They don't like that. Like, yo, you got to cover it up. You got to cover it up. You got to cover it up. Send the agents. Go. Set things up. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It says, verse 12, Job 20, verse 12, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat is in his bowels is turned. Slakia, yet his meat in his bowels is turned. It is the gall of asps within him. All right, and what that's talking about, what the venom of some of the deadliest snakes, the asps. Okay, the asps, which is a modern day English of saying aspis. Okay, it says he hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. All right. So that's what woe unto you, rich men. All right, you've heaped all these treasures for the last days, but guess what? You're not going to be able to enjoy it. You know, you got all this wealth being transitioned from the middle class and the working class to the so-called elites now, and everybody else is poor, and they got to rely on some type of UBI. Nah, the Lord said you're not going to enjoy all that. Right? He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of asps. The viper's tongue shall slay him. Okay. So when you understand all this, that this is what's gonna happen to these devils, man. All right, they're not gonna get far. All the shit they're doing. That's why Revelation 12 and 12 is there, because they realize, damn, we don't have much time. The Israelites are waking up. That's the biggest resistance any nation will ever face. The Israelites. All right, because we're the top nation on the earth. So if you find yourself ruling over us and we wake up to who we are, we're going to take your ass out. That's what they're afraid of. But it's coming. There's nothing you could do about it. Okay, verse 19, jumping down to verse 19. Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away a house which he builded not. That's what you did to our people. Okay, you came in here, look at so-called Cristobal Colon. This fuck ass nigga came over here to a land, all right, that doesn't even belong to him. And he came in here with a sword in his hand, ready to fight. Okay, ready to slay, ready to rape, rob, murder, steal, okay, and slave. What kind of wicked ass people do that? To the point where you have such a wicked reputation, where you go to all these other nations and they see you, they run away from you, man. Or you're not welcome in their land. So even if you go to their land, you gotta sneak, you gotta lie, you gotta deceive them. You see? That's Esau. You're not welcome anywhere, man. Scriptures call him what? The vagabond of the earth. Okay? You're just a lost wanderer. You just go around. Habakkuk tells you that. You know, he keepeth not at home. This devil goes everywhere to take over everything there is. So he could what? He could corrupt it. That's all he does. The man of sin. Okay? Now, modern day, what's he doing? He's going around pushing this trans bullshit. You know, going to these different countries and telling them, oh, you got to accept sodomites. You got to accept this. You got to women rights and this, all this confusion. All right. Things that are corrupt. This devil goes around pushing it. Right. And calls it human rights, calls it liberal, you know, calls it equality, all kinds of bullshit, man. The Most High going to destroy all that. OK, you're going to destroy all that. All right, it says, verse 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. All right, and that time is coming very soon, and they know it. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. All right, so for those of us who are on this side, who are waiting upon the kingdom to come, yo, Esau, you want to take away? Take everything. You can have it. We don't want it. You want to take our money in the bank? Go ahead. The Lord will deliver. The Lord will protect. The Lord will provide. We're good. It's the rest of the people who are out there who are so concerned about how the system works and they're so engulfed in it. They are the ones who are going to be affected by this. All right, because they don't have that saving grace, which is the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. which comes through wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the scriptures, of the prophecies, which is going to boost up your faith. All right? To be able to endure the times that will come in you. Special gift only given to the special ones, the elect of the nation of Israel. So I'm going to leave it off there, low and be that fight. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash, the water Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And until next time, Shalom.